Well, the first round of the draft didn't give us this, but thankfully we have a trade. And it's between Calgary and Carolina, and with Dundon being the new owner and the change of management upstairs, there have been a lot of rumours circling around about this. Will Noah Hanifan survive? He's been used in trade rumours for about the last month, so this shouldn't be any surprise for anyone. What is a surprise is the return. Hanifan being a 21-year-old 5th overall pick, with still plenty of upside if he can figure out this game properly. I mean, he's still getting close to 40 points a season. He's not horrendous, he just hasn't really lived up to his potential in his first 3 years. He is getting compared a lot to Ekblad, which probably isn't fair. Then Lindholm, who's constantly been able to get 40-odd points every year. Last season he was quite quiet at the start, but then managed to pick it up towards the end. He's a pretty good player there. He's 23 years old. But his contract is up. Calgary is always probably going to move a defenseman. They have a fair few. They didn't gel very well last year. It just didn't seem to work. So it makes sense that they've gone out and got a trade. Especially if someone younger who's probably just going to listen and fit a gap where they need to be and just let him blossom and grow. And Michael Ferland, who is pretty much getting the same points as Lindholm, is just 3 years older and really, there's no real upside to him anymore. And that's the issue, and most likely this trade was done because Dundon didn't want to pay these players. They're not really getting a huge amount of attendance. They're clearly probably not making a profit if they spend to the cap. So, what's the option to this? Don't spend to the cap. Now, they could do something in free agency that might be crazy, and then this might whitewash each other, but right now they have 4 right D, this is Carolina. So you'd expect that this still isn't over yet. But Hanifan and Lindholm both need contracts at the end of the year, and I guarantee they were probably going to make more than $7.5 million between them when it was all said and done. The trade that they brought on has relieved some cap. However, they've thrown away their youth, which is never a good idea, and if you look through the history of the NHL, this usually comes back to bite you in the ass. Hanifan, yeah, sure, he's been a small amount of a disappointment. He hasn't been awful, he just hasn't lived up to 5th overall, but there's a really good player there. And Lindholm, same thing. He just hasn't lived up to 9th overall, but, there's a good player there, and they're really young still. They can still have that breakout season at 24, 25, 26. And this is the thing, is the players that they get back, we know who they are. We know who Dougie Hamilton is at this point. We know who Ferland is at this point. There's no upside there, really. So we get to who wins and who loses the trade. Well, it's Calgary, easily. They just became better. Just by moving these players, they became better, and that's outside of the upside. Now, they do have to re-sign them, so there's that, but yeah, they did very, very well in this. They also traded away a 3rd overall pick, Adam Fox, to Carolina as well, but that was more just a throw-in, here you go. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. Do you like the trade? Who won the trade? Ooh, because there always has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Others hit subscribe. One thing I will mention is that Dundon came in as the owner and said there's going to be sweeping changes and he's going to build this team differently than anything else, and then this happens. He fired the general manager at the time because he didn't GM the way he wanted him to. Is this the way you wanted him to GM, to get rid of assets that could probably get you more, or at least get you more production on the ice, but instead bring in some players that we know what they're like? Maybe they wanted to get bigger with Hamilton, but he doesn't really throw his size around that much, so it's not really that. It's very confusing, this trade, and I feel like we need the folks at Law & Order SVU to sort of come in and figure this whole situation out, and then at the end we can go, dun dun!